Today we're going to start working with multiplying a polynomial by a monomial. Remember, poly, that prefix means many, and mono means what? One. So before we start this, though, I want you to write this down. Let's recall something that we learned a few months ago. And what I want you to recall is the distributive property, because we're going to use it all day long on this assignment. The distributive property. Let's say that I have this problem. 5 times 3x minus 7 in parentheses. Do you remember what the distributive property says? What does it say? What do we do? Is that what you were going to say? Yes, we distribute 5 times 3, which is 15x, and I actually do the multiplication or addition over, top of the addition or subtraction. So then I do 5 times 7, which is 35. You'll actually have a few problems like that as part of your assignment, just as review. All right? Now, but tonight, the problems you're going to have are going to have a true algebra term on the outside with some x's and y's or a's and b's. So let's see what those look like. You're going to be asked to multiply, and we'll start with one like this. X times x plus 3 in parentheses. So we do this the same way. All right, I'm still going to distribute multiplication to both of these terms, but now I have to think about exponents. What is x times x? It is x squared. Plus, what is x squared, or I'm sorry, what is x times 3? Just 3x, isn't it? Isn't that just 3x? Right? Isn't x times 3 3x? Yes. There's your answer. That problem's done. I can't do anything else with that because those two terms are not like terms. I can't combine them. All right? Let's do several more here. Let's say that I had negative 2x on the outside, and on the inside I have 4x squared minus 3x plus 5. Now this time the monomial on the outside has a number with it. We call that a coefficient. So when I'm multiplying this first term by what's on the outside, I have to multiply the coefficients first. So what's negative 2 times 4? Negative 8. So this first one will be negative 8 x to what power? Well, what is x times x squared? It's x to the third, or x cubed. So there's my first term. Negative 8x cubed. Then I need to multiply the negative 2x times negative 3x. Now be careful with your signs on this homework tonight. Isn't negative 2 times negative 3 what? Positive 6, so I need to write plus before this next term, plus 6. And then what is x times x? X squared. Don't leave off that x squared. The middle term is positive 6x squared. Then I need to multiply the negative 2x times the last term, which would be negative 10x. All right? And that's your final answer. All three of those terms are different because the powers are different on the variables, so that problem is done. All right? Okay, let's try this one. 5xy squared times 3x squared minus 4xy plus y squared. Now, we've got two variables on this one, but it doesn't make it any harder. We just have to pay attention on each of the terms I multiply by. So when I distribute to this first term, I multiply the 5 and the 3 first. I get 15. And what is x times x squared? X to the third. The y squared, there's not another y, so it just comes along for the ride. Then I need to multiply by the middle term. Well, it's a positive times a negative, so that'll be a negative. What's 5 times 4? 20. Then I need to multiply x by x. What's x times x? X squared. And then I need to multiply y squared times y. Y to the third, or y cubed. So there's your middle term. And I still have one more term I have to multiply by. It's a positive times a positive, so that's a plus. There's no coefficient, so it just stays as 5. There's no x, so that x just comes along for the ride. And then I need to multiply y squared times y squared. Y to the fourth. 5x y to the fourth is your last term. And that problem is done. Now sometimes they might write the problem a little differently, like this one. Negative 6a squared plus 5b minus 3ab, and then they'll put this little deal down here like this negative 3a, and they'll say multiply. Well, it's the same problem. They just wrote it a little bit differently. What is the monomial that's on the outside? Yeah, so you just rewrite it. Let's kind of make an arrow in our notes that we're going to rewrite it as negative 3a on the outside, and then the negative 6a squared plus 5b minus 3ab on the inside. And then you do the same thing we've done on the last few problems. I'm going to pause the video. Why don't you pause the video and try the problem yourself. All right, let's see how you did. Use distributive property. Negative 3 times negative 6 is positive 18. A times a squared is a to the third. Then I need to distribute to this middle term, which would be negative 15 ab. No change in the powers. Distribute to the last term. Negative 3 times negative 3 is positive 9. A times a is a squared, and the b just stays there. And there's my answer. Now, every once in a while, not very often, they'll give you a problem that has a fraction in it. And that's nothing to be concerned about because we've learned how to multiply with fractions. We might have to review that. But if they give you a problem like this one, where there's a 1/4 y squared on the outside, I'm still going to distribute. But maybe we need to review how I distribute or how I multiply with a fraction times a whole number. Let's kind of go to a different page here and just review that. If I want to do 1/5 times 20, let's say, what do I do?
Times 5 by 1.
No. No, I need to put the 20 over 1. 1/5 times 20 over 1 is what I need to do. And then I factor. I ask how many 5s are in 5? 1. How many 5s are in 20? 4. Right? Remember that now? And then I multiply across. 1 times 4 is 4. 1 times 1 is 1. So my answer is 4. Okay? So we did that a lot in the fall. And we've reviewed it off and on throughout the year. So on this problem, we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to distribute my multiplication. But to do that, I need to do the little problem 1/4 times 8 over 1. So when I do 1/4 times 8 over 1, I need to factor. 4 divided by 4 is 1. What's 8 divided by 4? 2. So won't that first one just become 2? So my first term is 2y to the what? Third. Minus, now I need to do 1/4 times 12. 1/4 times 12 over 1. Well, I factor again. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 12 divided by 4 is 3. So this middle term will be 3y to the what? Well, I add these two exponents, so yes, it is to the 5th power. And then plus, I need to do 1/4 times 4. Well, what's 1/4 times 4 over 1? 1. So this last term will be 1, and I've still got a y squared. And so there's your answer. Okay? Now, we only have one more thing to go over, and that's what I would call, maybe we would call this a double type problem, where they give you something like this, negative 3a times 5a minus 2b plus 6a times 2a plus 10b. Something like that. This will be our last problem. And there's not very many like this, but I did want to go over it because they do show up. All you have to do here is treat them as two separate problems and then combine like terms. So first, I'm going to do this one. Okay? So let's do that. Negative 3a times 5a is what? Negative 15a squared. And then negative 3a times negative 2b is positive 6ab. So I've done the first distributive property situation. Now we need to do the second one. So what's positive 6a times 2a? Positive 12a squared. And then I need to distribute it 6a times 10b, which would be plus 60ab. Now, that's the first step. There is one more, because I have like terms. So I need to combine these two like terms. They're both a squared terms. All I need to do is the coefficient work. Negative 15 plus 12. What's that? Negative 3. So when I combine those two terms, it becomes negative 3a squared. And then I have two other terms to combine. They're a little bit easier because it's just positive 6 and positive 60. So that is plus 66ab. And that's your final answer. And we'll stop there for today.